Welcome back here, everyone. I've always been a big fan of books. I've always liked reading, something I've been doing for a long time. Like I said before, I started reading comics when I was about, I think, probably 6 or 7 years old. I've also read a lot of novels, a lot of different fantasy and adventure books, books about finance, you name it. I read a lot of things. Some things are not my cup of tea, but I like to read, so I tend to read a lot of different things. Now, I first met, I was first introduced to James Bond via the movies. Dr. No was the first James Bond movie I ever saw. I thought it was interesting. I thought Pierce Brosnan time as James Bond was actually really good. I thought he did James Bond really, really well. Now, I've never liked Daniel Craig as James Bond. I'm nothing against Daniel Craig. Personally, I just never liked him as James Bond. And the way Disney has gone out of their way to just bastardize everything James Bond. I mean, the last movie, I didn't even watch it. The minute I heard Phoebe Waller-Bridge was going to have a part in it, and I heard some of the reviews, I was like, my God! And what I heard in the reviews that they did to James Bond in that movie, that wasn't James Bond at all. That was not James Bond. You look at James Bond movies over the years. I mean, hell, back in the old days, I used to play James Bond video games, Casino Royale and all this kind of thing on Nintendo 64. That was the day. What we used to play some game, run around, looking at shoot, all that. It was fun. James Bond style stuff was interesting, was fun, was great, was, But what Disney did to James Bond in that last movie was absolutely terrible. But if you think that they were just going to leave it at that and let James Bond be James Bond and try to find some measure of having some decency left with it, no. There are these creepy little individuals known as sensitivity readers or sensitivity experts whose only job is to go pick up classic works of literature and then decide to change it because some of the language and thing in it is a problem and it's too sensitive, so they need to change this, they need to change that, because everything is too sensitive, because we all supposed to live in this world with a bunch of cupcake people who's so delicate and who's so this, who's so that they can't enjoy good literature at all. What am I referring to? Referring to this. I've been correcting you, Mr. Bond. Sensitivity readers remove offensive language from James Bond books, including Casino Royale and Octopussy. James Bond novels, including Casino Royale and Octopussy, have been edited. Racist and sexist terms have been removed ahead of 007's 70th anniversary. So James Bond's 70th anniversary is coming up, and they're removing racist and sexist terms. Now, we don't know what these racist and sexist terms are, because literally everything is a problem now. If you refer to a character as black, even though their skin color is black, that's racist. If James Bond, well, we all know James Bond is a fast action, womanizing, double O secret agent. That's what makes the character interesting, and what makes the character who he is. No, that's sexist, so they need to get rid of that. And by the time they finish, you're going to have something that cannot even be considered James Bond. That's it. This is what these people do. That's their only job. Read some of this. James Bond novels, including Casino Royale and Octopussy, have been edited to suit modern sensibilities. I have a problem with that modern, this modern, that modern, because I'm a modern person. None of these things offend me. But who do they offend? These blue-haired, pink-haired, green-haired, whatever color hair weirdos out there who have a problem with every last thing and figure that, that's what they do. This is what these people do. They have been given power to do things and they are just out to destroy everything. It makes them happy. With the raft of racist and sexist terms removed ahead of the 70th anniversary of the 007 this year, the publishers of the books by Bond created by Ian Fleming commissioned a review by sensitivity readers to modernize them, basically to work the hell out of them. According to the Sunday Telegraph, it comes as children's books by Ronald Dahl have been stripped of potentially offensive language, with the Oompa Loompas, the workers at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, being made gender neutral. Christ almighty, they went after the Oompa Loompas. Oh God, boy, wow. In the new version of Bond novel Live and Let Die, a scene in which Bond visits a New York club is altered to remove reference to a striptease. In the 1954 original, it says Bond could hear the audience panting and grunting like pigs at the trough. The revised version will now reportedly read, Bond could sense the electric tension in the room. The electric tension in the room. God, if the N-word, which author Ian Fleming used to refer to black people when he was writing during the 1950s and 1960s, have been removed from the revised text. However, outdated references to other ethnicities remain, as do phrases such as the sweet tang of rape and the description of homosexuality as a stubborn disability. So basically, they're picking and choosing what they remove. Right? They're picking and choosing what they remove in order to fit whatever they figure supposed to fit the way it's supposed to fit. You have to remember, these books were written at a certain point in time. There were certain things that were references, certain things that were done. Now, if you want to read these books, this is why I was saying to people before I get original copies or hard copies of things and keep them. Because I've decided to make changes to these books. If you could find these books someplace else before they get changed and all of these sensitivity nonsense, do that. Because when they start down this road, it's not going to stop. They're going after James Bond. They're going after the Oompa Loompas. You know they're not going to stop there. They're going to find every piece of literature, no matter what it is, and to find some way to change it to fit whatever creepy little narrative they have in their mind. They're not going to stop. James Bond is James Bond. That's the whole thing about it. He's a spy. He's a ladies' man. He's a badass action star. All of these things. That's what makes James Bond James Bond. And these books were written, and the movies were inspired by them. And you're out there now trying to change what was written. This piece of literature, because you have a problem with everything. So, yeah. People don't stop. They don't stop at all, and this is what it is. So basically, 007 is going to be 00 done, because they're changing what's happening in the books. These so-called sensitivity readers are changing what's happening in the books. Disney is out to destroy James Bond when it comes to film, because the last thing I heard, they were talking some garbage about how they wanted to make 007 into a woman. I don't know what the hell that's going to be about. They were also talking about doing a TV series for 007 and, working the hell out of that as well. It's just, there's nothing good left anymore. They just keep going in, changing things, and turning it into some ridiculous crap and figure everybody's supposed to just love it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. You'll find every time I put out a new video. And people, find and buy it and keep these books for yourself, because they're going to be gods. Take care.